Stop doing this. Pay attention. Please pay attention to this. Perry Jeffries here with Financially Fit. Stop doing this. So pay attention to this. This is my rant for 2017. Every week, I come across this situation. So pay very close attention. I'm going to help somebody save thousands of dollars in taxes and penalties and more taxes and fees and other penalties. So please pay attention to this. So how many of you know someone who has a retirement account at a previous job? Maybe it's you. So this is the scenario. You worked for a company, you had some type of retirement account. You had a 401k, you had a 403b, maybe it's a pension, maybe it's a thrift savings plan, maybe it's an STRS, a PERS, or a FERS. Whatever the case may be, you had a retirement plan and then you change jobs. Either your position gets terminated or you find a better opportunity and you decide to leave jobs. Then you are faced with the decision, what do you do with your retirement plan? More times than not, people make a very bad decision. And they make this decision because they do not sit down and talk to a financial professional. So when you leave your job, you have three options. You can either leave your plan there, so you can leave it. You can distribute it, which means you can have the company send you a check, or you can roll it over. So if you leave the plan there, you simply leave the plan there. You can't contribute to it, you can't add to it, but the plan is there, something that you're familiar with. A lot of times we see this happen. But a lot of times people need money. So if you lost your job, you probably need some money to catch up on some bills, to pay the mortgage, to pay the car note, to buy groceries, put food on the table. So you're trying to figure out how you're going to use money. You need some money. So more times than not, you go in and you do a distribution. And when you do this distribution, you get hit with taxes and penalties. So if you're under 59 and a half and you leave your job and you take a check from your retirement account, you're going to owe taxes and penalties. So a lot of people already know that, but they don't know the extent of it because the year after they get hit with a tax bill they weren't expecting. So let's use an example here. So let's say that you make $25,000 a year and you have $25,000 inside your 401k. And you say, hey, 401k, I need some money to pay some bills. I want to pay off some debt. So you take that $25,000 out. Well, when you do that, they're required to have a 20% distribution. So they're going to withhold some money. And you're going to think, hey, they're withholding 20% in taxes on my distribution. I don't have to pay taxes anymore. But what you don't realize is that if you made $25,000 for the year and you take out $25,000, your income for the year is now $50,000, which means you just went from a 15% tax bracket probably to a 25% tax bracket. So that 20% withholding that they took out did not cover your taxes on that. And the 20% withholding is only for federal taxes. That doesn't include state taxes, which in the state of Ohio is around 5%. That doesn't include the 10% early withdrawal penalty. So on that money that you took out of your account, because you didn't sit down and speak to a professional, the following year, you're probably going to owe taxes, more taxes, and penalties on this money. So the way to avoid that, there are other options, people. But to know these options, you have to speak to a financial professional. But understand, when I say financial professional, I'm talking about a professional who specializes in retirement plans. So this is not your coworker. This is not the gas station attendant. This is not your insurance agent if they're not licensed or they're not a financial advisor. You need to speak to a licensed investment/financial advisor who is a fiduciary and can give you advice in your best interest on your retirement plans. Me, myself, I have a CRPC. I am a Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor, which means I am a retirement specialist. Okay? So if you would sit down with that specialist, you would look at some of your other options. One option may be to move it over to an IRA. When you roll it over to an IRA, you avoid taxes and you avoid penalties. There's no taxes, there's no penalties to move from a retirement plan to another retirement plan. And then if you need money to pay bills, you can access money different ways. One way, you could do what's called a 60-day indirect rollover, which means you can take money out of your IRA, and as long as you have it back within 60 days, there's no taxes or penalties. So if you need money in the short term, you can access money that way. For my people who are business owners, so if you're a business owner, if you sell Mary Kay, you sell Amway, you're in prepaid legal, you sell vacation sites, you purchase real estate, you're a massage therapist, you're a financial advisor. If you are classified as a business owner and receive a 1099 type of income, then you're eligible for what's called a solo 401k. You could roll your retirement account over to a solo 401k, and if you need access to money, instead of having to pay taxes and penalties, you now can actually borrow from yourself, because a solo or a single 401k allows you to actually take out a loan. That means you can actually borrow up to 50% of what's inside your account. So when you take that loan, there's no taxes, there's no penalties, and what you're doing is borrowing from yourself. And the interest and the principal from that loan goes back into your account. So if you have $20,000 that you move from your previous retirement plan over to your solo 401k, you can actually take out a loan for $10,000, and the principal and interest of that goes back into your account. So you avoid taxes and penalties. So I'm not going to get too technical tonight, because this is my 2017 rant, and I like the way this feels, so I'm going to start ranting more often, because I come across this situation way too many times where people come to me after the fact and be like, oh my God, Perry, I didn't know I could do that. Well, how in the world did you not know you could do that when you have access to me? So this is what I'm going to say, people. Whether you're working with me or someone else, before you make a decision on your 401k or your retirement plan or your pension or your TSP, speak to a financial professional who specializes in 401k. The person at the customer service desk of your HR department is not a retirement specialist. You need to speak to a specialist like myself, and or a tax accountant, someone who can give you sound advice so you know exactly what happens if you do need to take a distribution from your account. So that's my 2017 rant. I like this. We're going to do it more often. If you like this, don't just like this. Don't just comment and say, hey, Perry, that was awesome. You know somebody who's about to retire. You know somebody who left their job. Share this with your friends and family, because the tax bite on this can be tremendous. In the example that we use right here, the person making $25,000 a year, taking out $25,000, this comes down to being, let's say, 20% in taxes that was withheld, but you still owe 5%. And then you're looking at a 10% early withdrawal penalty and another 5%. So they're going to owe another 10, almost 20, another 20% on that money that they took out, that they're going to have to come up with next year because they didn't sit down and get sound advice. Stop doing this. Perry Jeffries with Financially Fit. Stay blessed.